Okay, and we're live.
Good morning and welcome to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. I am your pharmacist, Paul White. We're glad you joined us. Before we begin, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Aultman Health System. Today, Brad and I are broadcasting from our administrative offices, and our guest is Hollie, Stefaniak RN, CRRN, and we will be discussing self-care. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here, meeting both you and Paul and Brad. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we'd like to remind our listeners today that this program is also available on our podcast, which can be downloaded from the App Store on your mobile phone. Just look for Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy in your favorite podcast app, and please subscribe to our program. Okay, Hollie is a certified registered nurse at Aultman Woodlawn with 21 years dedicated to nursing profession and 2 decades at Aultman. Hollie brings a wealth of experience and passion to our discussion today. She has won numerous awards at Aultman and has led several initiatives to improve patient care. She's a passionate advocate for health and wellness, sharing her knowledge at women's conferences and inspiring the next generation by speaking to college students about nursing as a career. Hollie is genuinely enthusiastic about helping others to improve their lives through health and wellness.
So, Hollie, welcome to the show. Please tell listeners about yourself and your role with Aultman Woodlawn.
Yes, so I have been a nurse for 2 decades now. I started off as a nurse aide and then went to get my LPN and then eventually got my RN and then got certified in rehab. And I absolutely love the rehab setting. I love seeing patients come in and start to improve because that's how our body's designed to do. It's designed to get better regardless of what comes at it. So if you're taking care of your body, you can get better. And I see that every day. I've seen some really terrible things, like when people come in with a stroke. We had a patient once where at one point he couldn't move his left side, he couldn't talk, he cognitively was not there, and by the time he left, he was walking and talking. And he actually just recently came back, and I was just so happy to see him because I'm like, look at the improvement that you've made. So being a nurse to me is the best thing ever, to see that your effort to help other people live at their highest level of independence. I've lived here in Canton, Ohio all my life. I'm married for 17 years now, and I have 3 young boys under the age of 11. So my life can get a little bit wild. So I see that it's hard to take care of everything. You know, you're taking care of people, you're taking care of your home, you're taking care of your job, but do we take care of ourselves? And that's what I'm here for today, just to give everybody a few tools to use to slip into their already busy days. Because if you wait to the end of the day to take care of yourself, it's not going to happen. So hopefully we can give our listeners some tools to use throughout their day to live a better life.
3 boys, don't they take care of you?
Yeah, well, they try, but I have my first son, Kaiden. He's 11 and he's very smart. He's too smart, actually. He was 2 and playing with like cars and asking me if the ramp he built is the proper trajectory. And I'm like, Google, what does trajectory mean? So he's very, very
Oh my
intelligent. And then my second
gosh.
child, he's 9 now. His name's Tyden, and he's wild. It'll be raining outside and we can't find him, and he's naked running around in the mud. And then
Jeez.
my youngest, he's 5, but he's a little emperor, so he thinks he runs the world, but very cute kids, and they keep me running.
Wow. Okay, let's kick off with why self-care is a game changer for everyone. What's your vision for today's episode and how well self-care habits transform our day?
Paul, it's so important for people to take care of themselves. They don't. We don't have time. We do not have time. You know, at the end of the day, once I get my kids to bed and everything's done, I'm like, I'm going to, do a face mask, or I'm going to sit down and do some breathing techniques. No, I'm fall asleep. There's no time for it. So if there's ways that we can slip that into our already routine days, then it's more practical. So I do have 10 advices to give to people, little tools that you can use to slip into your day and see if it works. So hopefully we get through all of them. 4 of them, of which are my favorite. I could talk for hours on for the topics we're going to discuss. So if I go a little bit too far, don't be afraid to reel me back in.
Okay. Okay. What is oxygenation? Why start the day with oxygenation, such as Wim Hof breathing?
So oxygenation is our fuel. If you think of your body as a vehicle, it's what gets us through the day. So if you're going to go drive your car and it doesn't have any oxygen, or if it doesn't have any gasoline, it's not going to run. Our bodies are the exact same thing. You need the oxygen. When you're born, you come out breathing. No one teaches you how to do it, but there needs to be a lesson because we are not good breathers. We take shallow breaths that aren't really oxygenating our body. And then you just have like stagnant air sitting in your lungs. At work, when we have patients after surgery, we use a tool called an incentive spirometer, and we'll have them take deep breaths, and it'll measure how well they're using their lungs. And most patients are only using like a fourth of their lung. They're not using the full lung capability. And in that, you're not getting you're not getting good oxygenation. So you're going to feel fatigue. You're going to have, you're going to be tired, stressed, unfocused. And it could just be as easy as taking a deep breath. But do we know how to take deep breaths? So I teach patients all the time how to take a deep breath, and it's in your nose, out your mouth. When was the last time you took a really deep breath, Brad? When was the last time you woke up and decided to really fill your lungs? There's different breathing techniques, and I'm not saying one's better than the other, but I'm just going to teach you a few. So together, let's take a deep breath through your nose and then out your mouth. So you're filling up. And as you do that, you're feeling your lungs stretch. It's somewhat uncomfortable because you're like, oh, how much oxygen can I actually hold? Well, you could probably do more if you exercise them. The more a patient uses that incentive spirometer, you see that their lungs are getting stronger and they're able to bring the oxygen in. It's going to scrape away any stagnant fluid laying in your lungs, because if that lays there, you can develop pneumonia, which we all know you don't want pneumonia. It leads to all kinds of different terrible things. So if that's just a simple deep breath, so first thing in the morning when you wake up, before you get up, just take those deep revitalizing breaths. Take 10 deep breaths in your nose, out your mouth. And Wim Hof describes it as breathing in your stomach, then your lungs, then your head. And when you first do this, you can't even get to the point of your head because your lungs are like, I can't do it. But as you start to practice it, you're like, oh my gosh, my lungs can fill up way more than I'm using them. So if you can load your body with a ton of oxygen first thing in the morning, you're full, you're ready to go, you are energized, your cells are working. Your mitochondria, which is your powerhouse, your mitochondria is your cell that's giving you power. It needs the oxygen. And if it doesn't have the oxygen, you're going to feel exhausted for the day.
Very interesting. Can do the maximum amount of the patients that come to your facility don't know how to breathe or don't breathe well, or
I think in general, people don't know how to breathe. I think we're just used, if you watch someone breathe, they're barely breathing. They're just they're barely breathing. And you're like, in your nose. Most people don't even breathe through their nose. They do mouth breathing all the time. And that's not very good oxygen exchange. You want to get it into your nose, out your mouth. And you want to get that carbon dioxide out of your body. That's a metabolic waste. You don't want that. That's got toxins. So the more that you breathe out, you're getting rid of the garbage. It's a way to detox your body. It's nothing that we don't really talk about this anymore. But if you read books like way back in the day, I was reading this one book, and it talked about foxes. If they get bit by a snake or some type of venom, they'll start hacking and coughing and coughing and coughing. And what they're doing is they're expelling that toxin through their exhale, and then they won't be affected. So, is that essentially the same as human beings? Is that why when we get sick, we're coughing a lot? Are we trying to expel the bacteria or virus that's in our body? So it brings up some questions when you start reading. The more I've learned the more you know, the more you realize that you don't know. the further you dig in, they're like, wow, we are just there's so much to learn. It's exciting.
Wow.
All right, well, let's talk about hydration. How important is that to do right after waking up?
It is vital, as vital as oxygen. I know oxygen, you can only live without oxygen for a few minutes. Water, you can only live without water for a few days. Food, you can live without food for a few months. So it's vital that you get your hydration in. And to do this, I always tell people, wake up first thing in the morning after you do your breathing, go get a glass of water. Just get one down. You might not feel thirsty. Most likely you are dehydrated because you haven't drank all
Hmm.
night long. You probably didn't drink right before bed either. So you're waking up and you're thirsty. So just get a glass of water down. Um,
Hmm.
if you, there's different ways to get the, water in. Like if you put cucumbers in your water, a lot of patients will tell me, I don't drink water. Oh yeah, I don't drink water. I drink coffee. 1 cup of coffee, it takes 5 cups of water to help with the dehydration effects that 1 cup of coffee does. And I know coffee is everyone's thing. Everyone does the coffee, and that's fine. But just know that as you're drinking that coffee, it is not hydrating you. It is actually dehydrating you. You're taking
S-
steps backwards.
See, and I got my water right here.
I'm
Okay.
proud of you, Paul. Good job. Yes. Oh, and the thing is a glass of water is actually hard to get down. So if you can start first thing in the morning, that's the best. But if you ever feel like fatigue or headache, how many times do people say, "Oh, I have a headache. I don't know what's going on," or my brain's not working. I have brain fog. Your brain is a hydroelectric system. No hydro, no electricity. So you have to give it what it needs to do its work. Um, Dr. Don Colbert, he wrote the book Seven Pillars of Seven Pillars of Health, and he discussed that he was able to heal 90% of his patients' issues with just hydration. He would send them away with tasks on how to hydrate themselves, and he'd actually give them specific water because all water is not the same. Brad, it's not. So tap water is not good for you. And we have a doctor at Woodlawn, you know who you are, and he will come in and fill his glass up with the faucet water. And I just cannot. I'm always like, you cannot do that. But he still does. But tap water is not good. If you can actually go to your local water
Yeah.
website and look at what is in your water and the legal limits. And it'll even say what that, like arsenic, for example, it'll say arsenic. I think arsenic is 0.04% is what's allowed. But then it'll say, oh, but your water has 119 times that.
Gee.
So even though they're saying, oh, we do have legal limits on things, your water does not. I mean, there's a limit of stool that's allowed in your water. And water bottles aren't technically even better because the standards aren't as high as tap water. So when you're drinking water bottle, like Dasani's from the Detroit River, some of them can become just from a faucet in, New York City that's filtered. And you're like, oh, maybe this isn't the best water. So researching the type of water that you're taking in is important because they are loaded with toxins, pharmaceuticals, and you both are aware that that's not something that you really want in your system. Floating around is, some of that medication can cause hormonal problems and psychological problems. So it's important that you get good water. And you can filter your water at home. Most fridges come with like a carbon filter. That's a common filter. Carbon doesn't filter out everything, but it does do a pretty good job. But you have to change that filter every 6 months because it'll get loaded with all that bacteria, all those toxins, everything is collecting, and then it'll start to leach back into your water. So if you do have a water filter, that's great, but only for 6 months. After that, it's a little bit dangerous because now you're getting maybe bigger amounts put back into your water. So you have to be very careful with that. I'm just going to check my notes because I know there was more. Oh, you know what is a really good filter is a Berkey filter. I don't know if have you ever heard of a Berkey filter?
Berkey?
If you ever see those like long metal containers sitting on someone's countertop, it's a Berkey filter and it filters everything but leaves the minerals behind. So it filters fluoride, chlorine, pharmaceuticals, heavy metals, everything that you don't want to drink. So that is a great filter if you're going to do one. Or reverse osmosis is a great way to filter your water, but it does filter the minerals out as well. So you're getting completely clean, fresh water. But if you just drink that, it's going to go right through you and it's going to pull the minerals with it. So it's actually not good. You ever try to rehydrate and you're drinking water and it's just coming right back out? You're running to the bathroom. It's because that water's not mineralized. And in fact, I have a trick that I do personally is I'll take Celtic salt, which is a moist salt. It's like a sea salt, but it simulates well with your body. If you can get that, put it on your tongue, crunch it up, and it's going to release magnesium, 3 different types of magnesium, which is a water hungry molecule. So when that goes into your system, it's going to go into your cell and help pull that water into your cell. So it's not just going in and, in and out. So it's a great way. And Celtic salt gives you 83 different minerals. And most of us are mineral deficient because how we grow our crops, we don't rotate our crops and they're not as full as they used to be of minerals and nutrients as they were in the past, unfortunately. So it's a good way to get hydrated and to get your minerals. So starting your day off with something like that really you'll feel better. I promise you will feel better. If you start to feel ill and you're like, I don't know what's going on, it most likely is dehydration.
Interesting.
Well, you said some things that I'll add on as a public service announcement. So if you have medications at home that you don't need anymore, please do not put them down the toilet. Do not flush them. We have medication disposal bags that you can use at the pharmacy to safely dispose of them. Or generally, you can take them to your local sheriff's office or police station, and they have a receptacle to dispose of medications that you don't need responsibly. Putting them in the water supply is not a good plan. Years ago, I'm sure you remember there was a statistic that showed a significant percentage of Prozac in the water supply due to people flushing their medications down the toilet. So don't do that. And the other thing I have to chuckle is you already hit on it, but we have patients in the pharmacy all the time that come in and like, well, I hate water. I don't drink it.
Yes.
I drink like a 2-liter Mountain Dew a day, and I'm thinking, oh man.
Yeah.
So
There's so many things wrong with that. One Mountain Dew is loaded with sugar. What is it, like 75?
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount of sugar. And your body, like a kid's body can only handle 9 grams of sugar for their liver to process that. So if you're taking in it's sad because you give your kid milk, that's 14 grams of sugar right there. So right there, their body can't process that. So that's creating fatty liver, leaky gut, and that's leading to a whole other array. That's for another podcast. But sugar is not good. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger, he called it white death. He said it was the worst thing you could put in your body.
Here's our water. Okay, I'm gonna when it comes in next week, another skid of it, I'm gonna send you a case over. Okay, Health Matters.
Fantastic.
See,
yes.
Health Matters says it on the bottle.
It sure does. And health does matter.
And it's pure and pure and pure. It really is. Okay.
Yes, very good. When I started researching the importance of hydration and the types of water, I honestly got overwhelmed, and every water I was drinking, I was like, is this safe? So sometimes it comes down to just, you stay hydrated. Even
most water that's sold in the groceries and by the case is just out of the tap.
Yeah.
It's not
right.
It's not like our water, which is just about purified every possible way you can do it. And we have vending machines for water at several of our stores. Aquamart,
reverse osmosis.
Yeah, reverse and all kinds of light option and it's really great. So
yes, hydration is key. And the thing that frustrates me the most is living in the world. You're being attacked. There's nothing you can do about radiation exposure, toxins, pollution, all of that. It's coming at you. And what it's doing is damaging your body at a cellular level. It's knocking electrons off. So if we can find ways to protect those electrons or rebuild them up, then essentially that's going to make you healthier. That's what started this whole journey for me. So I started thinking, what are some ways that we can restore our electrons? And this is kind of how I came up with this list of advice that I'm giving today, because all of these things can help your body at a cellular level function at its best capabilities. So sometimes you have to deal with it. You're exposed to it. You're here. Let's just move forward and try to make our bodies healthy, age gracefully, promote longevity for a vital life. That's my goal. That's my podcast.
All right. Well, why don't we move on to the next subject?
We've got lots.
Well, did you get oil pulling answered?
No, not yet.
Uh,
Let's dive into oil pulling.
okay.
And when I talk about this, people are always like, what is oil pulling? And it's exactly what it is. It's oil pulling. So you can use oil pulling. You take a tablespoon of coconut oil, you put it in your mouth. Best to do first thing in the morning because your blood is loaded with bacteria when you first wake up. So put this in your mouth. It's weird because it's gooey and you got to let it melt. So once it melts, you're going to start swishing it around in your mouth. Now, you want to do this for like 10 to 15 minutes. And that seems like a long time, but if you're doing your hair or you're in the shower or you're getting ready, do it then. Swish it around. And as it's going through your mouth, it is going through the mucous membranes, your tongue, your blood vessels, your glands, and it's transitioning that bacteria into the oil. So as the blood's flowing through your body, it's going through the capillaries in your mouth and it's pulling those toxins out. So this is an easy way to detox your body. And I'm serious, if you do this for a week, you will feel amazing. Your brain is functioning. Everything seems clear. You have energy. It's a fantastic thing to do. So once you're done, and you don't have to swish the whole time, swish for like 10 seconds, stop for a little bit, swish for another 10 seconds. Just get that moving around your mouth. When you go to spit it out, you don't want to spit it in the sink because it's going to clog up and you don't want to cause any backup there. So you want to spit it in the trash and then rinse your mouth with hot water about 3 times and then brush your teeth. And this is just an easy way to get rid of the bacteria in your mouth because coconut oil is antibacterial.
Oh gosh, something else to do in the morning. Oh man.
I have all kinds of things for you to do. So as you swish it around, it's pulling out, it's cleaning your breath, it's healing your gums, it supports, like I said, detoxification. Yeah, I think that's all it helps with bad breath. So all of it, it's a good thing to do and it's easy to do. And I'm not saying you have to do this every single day, but if you're sick or you're not feeling good, or if you have a sore throat or thrush or something going on, try it. Try it for a week and leave in a comment if it helps you at all. Because I feel, the people that I recommend it to, they always have a positive response to it. And I always feel good about it once I do it. So simple, inexpensive, easy way to kind of keep yourself up and running.
Okay, coconut oil, not coconut water.
Correct. Coconut oil. It can't be fractionated. It has to be like, it's like wax, you're scooping it out of a container, but it melts at body temperature. So once you put it in your mouth, it just turns to liquid and you're going to swish it around. But
Do you have your boys and your husband doing this in the morning?
yeah, well, for a long time, my husband always thought I was, he would just be like, oh, that's, but then he'd be like, Joe Rogan said, and I'd be like, I told you this like 5 years ago. So he's slowly starting to understand that the things that I say have some backing to it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I do make my boys do it every once in a while if they have a sore throat, but they're young, they don't have much going on in their mouths yet.
Gosh. Okay. Why is morning skincare important and how does it fit into our daily kickstart?
So, Paul, I actually sold skincare for a while and I really dived deep into how to take care of your skin. And the more I read, I was like, nobody knows how to take care of their skin. And people don't even think it's important. You go to bed, women still have their makeup on, you're sleeping on the same pillowcase and not realizing that you're harming your body. When I think about self-care, I think about your image. Let's age well. So if you can take care of your skin, staying hydrated, coming to a routine of washing your face, and this is just real simple. You want to wash your face before bed. After you wash it, you want to exfoliate. After you turn 30, your body stops exfoliating, or it slows the exfoliation on its own, and it just gets worse and worse as you age. So you kind of have to start doing the things that your body used to do when you were youthful and young. So cleaning your face with a good cleanser. And I'm not going to recommend products because I'm not a skin professionalist. So I'm just going to give you tips and you can research what you want to do. But exfoliate and then hydrate your skin. You can use hyaluronic acid. You can use aloe. Aloe used to be, back in the Egyptian era, they called aloe the tree of life, because they used it for everything. I mean, the sun exposure, but they used aloe all the time. We only use aloe for burnt, like to the crisp. We're like, well, I better put aloe on that, make it feel better. But just adding aloe onto your face is going to help add hydration, especially right before bed. Because if you don't do anything, then you're going to bed, your face is drying out. If you can think of your body as like a fruit, like, would you rather be a plum or a raisin? So, you want to be a plum. So if you can do these things for your skin, then you're going to look better, you're going to feel better, you're going to care more about everything else. So it is, I think, important. Plus, it helps with everything. If you wake up and you're splashing cold water on your face, it's going to wake you up, it's going to make you feel refreshed, it's going to get you ready to start your day.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, all right. Here's something else in the morning to do. Stretching is the perfect way to get moving.
Yes.
How can we add it to our morning flow?
So back in the day, we used to do everything, climbing trees, reaching around, moving around. And now we live
Yeah.
in the greatest generation where we don't really have to survive by doing anything. Our food's already here. We don't have to work as hard. I mean, I know some people have some jobs where they really put in, put some effort in, but usually it's someone, you wake up, you sit down, you eat your food, you get in your car, you drive to work, you sit in your office, you get back in your car, you drive your car. So you're just like this all day long. When we were doing yoga with my twin sister, we were at a studio and there was this older woman there and we were doing stretches, like, reach us high. And she said, the only time I do this stretch is when I change my light bulb once a year. So she's never doing that action. And
Uh,
your body has to move. You have to keep things flowing. If you think of your body as like a river, if the river's moving and flowing, there's life, there's energy, it's beautiful. But if you think of a stagnant pond, that's when disease comes in. That's where sickness comes in. That's when it's gross. So you want to keep moving your body and just do anything. I'm not a physical therapist, so I'm not going to say you have to do these moves every day. But, just think, what are you doing for the day? Make sure that you're still, move your arms, stretch your back. If you're sitting all day, do some stretches to stretch out those tendons because they'll start to shorten. And, this people don't have good posture. We're constantly leaning over. So bring your shoulders back, neck up. Then you're breathing better. If your spine is in alignment, your body's functioning better. If you're not, if you're always just like, nah, whatever, you're not going to function well. Let your organs do what it needs to do. So moving, go out for a walk. A walk is so important for your body. And it's so easy to do. Just go for a walk. And they say if you're trying to like do an exercise, walk where you can talk, but you can't sing. That's when you got a good pace going on. Doing yoga, Pilates, any of those things, just move your body, keep those tendons and joints and muscles moving. You want to take care of your body because you don't know what the future brings. The patients I take care of, we're living lives and then something happened and now they have to go through rehab and recover. If your body before an accident is already well stretched out, well maintained, well taken care of, you're going to heal so much faster. You're going to have a great recovery, no issues there, but that's not always the case. Sometimes we have people come in and you see that they were already, not well off before the injury, and it takes them a long time to get back to an independent state. So if you can, let's just all take care of ourselves now, knowing that this is our vehicle to get us through our lives. And you can't replace it yet until Elon Musk lets us transfer our consciousness into a robot. But yeah, you have to take care of this body because it's the only one you have. So let's do these little tiny things throughout the day that we're just slipping in. They're not difficult. Taking a deep breath isn't difficult. Drinking an extra glass of water isn't difficult. These are free. It's not going to cost you much, but they're things that are going to add up throughout the years because if
Well,
you're not,
we got time to do this stuff in the morning now because there's no morning newspaper to read. And that was my favorite thing in the morning was reading the
oh,
newspaper.
is that right?
Gone. Yeah.
Oh, now you have to just flip through your
Yeah. And
phone.
with a
I get
magnifying glass, Yeah.
that. Oh,
On the cell phone,
yeah.
Yeah.
Times have changed. It's interesting the things that we're exposed to, which we'll talk about the blue light effect when we talk about sleep. So that's coming up. Stay
Okay.
tuned.
Okay.
You covered, basically some stretching and exercise. Is there anything else that you might want to add for those that, when you say exercise, I think some people think gym and they think, well, I can't do that. That's too much for me, or it intimidates me, or people look at me funny. Do you have any comments on how to just help encourage people to move? Any additional ones?
Sure. It's just movement. There's no gym needed. You can sit on your floor in the morning, stretch your arms, stretch your legs. One of the stretches I tell some of the girls at work, because everyone complains about like carpal tunnel, you know, just stretch your wrist, pull it out, hold it, and then bring it back like this, stretch. And do that before bed when you wake up. And all of a sudden it's gone. You no longer have the aching wrists anymore. It's all about moving. We don't move. So it's not about, oh, I have to work out. Because if when I was younger and I was in high school, you would go to the gym and you had to be sweating and working out. And, that's breathing really hard and be like, okay, I had a good workout. But then the older you get, you're like, oh my gosh, like I can't handle that. But just going for a brisk walk on your lunch break, have your granola bar, your water, go for a little walk. I see people at Woodlawn all the time. They'll take circles around the building and it makes me so happy because I'm like, look at them getting out. They're getting sun exposure. They're getting good oxygen. They're moving around. All of that is positive. You want circulation. You want the blood movement. You want all of those things. So yeah, don't get discouraged. I don't want you to leave here going, oh my gosh, I have to change everything. This is just designed to just give you, just pick one. Just pick one and be like, okay, I'm going to just start stretching in the morning. When I wake up, I'm going to try to reach as high as I can, try to bend to my toes, left to right, lay on the ground, bring your feet up, do whatever you can. Keep your body moving, keep everything mobile, all your joints working. That's the one thing people are like, oh, my joints, keep them moving, keep them moving.
Gosh, that's interesting. Okay.
Okay, so that joints leads me into asking you about inflammation. What can you tell us about inflammation?
So inflammation is one of the biggest causers of disease. So if we can get rid of inflammation, technically we could get rid of a lot of disease. But inflammation is a good thing. It's a natural and necessary part of our body's immune response, helping to heal injuries and fight infection. However, chronic inflammation is no good. And that's where autoimmune comes out. That's where people, yeah, sorry, I had like a note. I just wanted to see about that. Yeah, autoimmune diseases and aging, it can cause all kinds of things. We don't want inflammation. So diabetes, all that's related to that. So if there's any way that we can get rid of inflammation, let's do it. And there's lots of ways I found out to get rid of inflammation. So one is through exercise, moving, just like we discussed. If you're moving, it's moving that lymphatic tissue. It's moving everything. It's keeping everything flowing. So if you're just sitting still, and like I said, you're just sitting all the time or not really moving, that inflammation is building up, and that is absolutely not good. But there's things that you can do with your diet. And obviously, I'm not going to tell you what to eat because I am not a dietitian, but I'm going to tell you some things that are good for you, like blueberries are the best. They're my favorite right now. The more I read, how can I do this? How can I do this? What's good for you? Blueberries, blueberries, blueberries. They're amazing. They're full of antioxidants. If you can fit blueberries or mangoes into your everyday diet, like make oatmeal and then throw frozen blueberries in it. Organic, obviously, do organic or else you're not getting anything good. But they're loading your system. Salmon is a great way to lower inflammation. It gives you everything your body needs to help process all the things going through your body and get rid of that inflammation. Turmeric tea, I'm sure people
Mm,
have heard about turmeric tea. There's a lot of benefits to that tea. If you can add that into your diet, ginger tea, whole grains. When you're buying bread, look for whole grains, not just wheat or not just,
mm,
you want that whole in there because that's what's going to benefit your body. You want to stay away from ultra processed food. Really, anything that comes in a package is probably not good for you. Fruits and vegetables are the best. But one of the major things, like we discussed earlier, is sugar. Sugar is so bad for you. It is so bad for you. It causes so many issues. And I
mm.
know it's hard to stay away. Like I said, milk, just the common things that we eat every day are loaded with sugar. So if you can be mindful of what you're consuming, maybe I'll just, have half of this cake and not eat the whole thing. It's going to help you in the end. But I know that,
Mm.
and I'm preaching to the choir here because it's hard. It's hard to keep the sugar out.
Temptations.
Yes, absolutely. So any way that you can find ways that you're going to limit your or decrease the inflammation by what you eat, even breathing can
Mm.
help with the inflammation. Even drinking, being hydrated. If you're dehydrated, it's going to cause inflammation. If your oxygen's low, it's going to throw your body into stress and it's going to make you think that, you're dying. So your body's going to create inflammation. So
Mm.
you don't want that. And our next topic, which we'll discuss here in a moment, is one of my favorite ways to decrease inflammation.
Okay, sounds like a plan. I keep reading on the internet all the foods you shouldn't be eating. Now you shouldn't be using sugar substitutes.
No.
The plant one, which is really very good, and I use that in my coffee and all kinds of other things. How
Yes.
about sugar substitutes?
Oh boy. Yeah. I would not recommend them just because there's aspartame in them and that is not good for you. That can cause all kinds of things. So I know that there was a point with my husband, he was obsessed with this drink and it had, sugar free but it was causing all kinds of issues. And I was like, it is this drink that you're drinking. So finally he stopped it and it solved all the problems. So sometimes the fix isn't the solution. Sometimes it's worse.
So you're an in-house doctor, huh?
Well, I just play one on TV.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. What is grounding? What do we connect with nature today during our busy day?
Yeah, so grounding is one of my favorite topics. It's something that I learned about that at first I was like, wait, what is this? But going back to the electrons that our body is being, they're being thrown off when you're exposed to certain things. When you ground, you are electrifying yourself. It's almost like plugging yourself in. If your cell phone's dead, and you need to plug it in, you would just plug it in. We are on like 2% and we just go through life at 2% with our body like going, I don't know how to function. I don't have what I need. But the solution is going outside in your bare feet and just touching the ground. When your feet touch the ground, it is charged. You're charging your body. So it's sending electrons through your body and restoring it. And how easy is that? Just going outside barefoot, walking around and breathing the oxygen. There's so many things that go along with that. You're outside, you're getting the good sunlight with the vitamin D. Um, yes, but grounding is very important. I recommend it to everyone and it's fun. My kids love it. I'm always like, they'll go outside, like, take your shoes off. So all the neighbors, when they first moved in, they'd be like, why do you guys never wear shoes? I'm like, it's good for you. So now the whole neighborhood runs around in our yard with no shoes on. And it's a lovely thing. It works better if the ground's moist or like if you're at the ocean, which the ocean is just beneficial for everything. But yeah, just getting your feet connected back to the ground. It's something our ancestors did every day. They slept on the ground, they were outside all the time, they were constantly recharged. But we live in a lifestyle where we wear shoes all the time and we're in our car all the time. We're not touching the earth anymore. We're not doing that. And our bodies were created from the earth. So we have to get back to that. It's a
So
simple
question
thing.
for you.
Mhm.
Do you, in addition, sleep on a grounding sheet?
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a grounding sheet. So if you can't get outside, I know there's people from, that live in like busy cities where there's no parks and there's no front yard and they're on the 15th floor. So yeah, you can buy a grounding mat where you can just stand on it, but there's also grounding sheets, which I have, and you just plug it into the grounding port in your socket. And it helps just ground you. And that's great because 8 hours of just being grounded, you wake up and you're like, and again, I have the grounding sheet. My husband's like, I don't want this on me because he just thinks it's snake oil.
He's
But
waiting for Joe Rogan to talk about it.
exactly, which there might be, but I'll send that over to him. But then he won't feel well. So then at that point, he's at my mercy. So I'll be like, well, you're gonna cover up with this and you're gonna take this and smell this.
Well,
And
I don't understand what we're talking about here now. Something you plug into the wall or?
yeah, so if you're not able to actually get your body outside, you can there's a mat and it's laced with silver threads. So then you
Okay.
connect that to the grounding port. So when you have in your plug, there's the hole.
Mm-hmm.
You plug it into the hole at the bottom because that's what
Oh,
grounds your house. And so there's
okay.
usually a copper wire that's in the ground that grounds your house. So if you're struck by
Sure.
lightning, so you're using that to ground yourself. So it's conductive. So as you're laying there and it's touching your skin,
Do I need to be grounded?
you, Paul, are you not grounding? You do need to be grounded. I
Okay.
promise if you go outside, take off your shoes and just walk around, even for bedtime routine, and I'll discuss this later, but walking outside like for 10 minutes before bed, you instead of sitting looking at your phone, go outside, walk around, breathe the air, calm your body, make it a calming routine, and you're going to sleep so much better. Or if you wake up in the morning, go outside to do your deep breaths because sometimes your bedrooms are the worst place to take a deep breath. A lot of people
Hmm.
die in their bedrooms because the oxygen in there isn't the environment is so foul. Most people keep their
Hmm.
blinds shut. They never open up their windows
Yeah.
for years, and it's just loaded. A good way to help with that is like a simple snake plant. A snake plant will help reoxygenate your room. It'll help alleviate toxins from the air. So doing stuff like that. But yeah, if you're not in your room, go outside, take those deep revitalizing breaths, get your feet on the ground. See, you can do three things at once. Drink your water, ground, oxygenate, stretch. You can add all those into just one simple routine that you're like, you know what, every day I'm just going to step outside and do these simple tasks that are going to, after a while, build up to create a better you. Because if you don't do it, then you're going this way. And it's okay to take a few steps this way, but when you come back to the healthier state, you might bring some, things with you or some scars or medications that you had to get on because you started to deteriorate. And we're just trying to prevent deterioration or improve deterioration because it's natural. Our bodies are going to slowly deteriorate, but what can we do to improve it? There's so
So
many
if
things.
we do all this stuff in the morning, Holly, it'll be
Mhm.
lunchtime.
Well, you know what? But if you wait till the end of the day, it's not going to happen. So, you know, just fitting it in little bits and pieces and just find one, get it into your routine where it's normal, and then add another and get that into your routine until it's normal. Because you'd realize that we do have a lot of free time. We do, as much as we don't, because I know that I do not have free time, but really, there are moments where I do get to sit down and I can like look through my phone or do something else. So let's be proactive about making us important because you're important and your self-care is important. And if you don't take care of yourself, who is? Who's going to take care of you? You have to. So make it a priority to, take care of
Yeah.
yourself.
What about stress?
Well, I don't know what stress is like. So for anybody, no, I'm just kidding. um, Stress,
Hey, that's really good that you know what it's like.
stress is terrible. I mean, all of us experience stress. I mean,
Yeah.
we all were stressed out, I'm sure, this morning preparing for the podcast. It can weigh us down. It's terrible to feel stressed, that achy in your heart. It messes with your focus. Um, it prevents you from being like, I don't know, it's no good for us. It creates inflammation. It creates all kinds of, it can lead to autoimmune. I know that a lot of people that I know in my life didn't have autoimmune and they came into a very stressful situation and then autoimmune kicked in. All of a sudden they have psoriasis or they have, things popping up and you're like, that is stress related. And the doctor always say, well, limit your stress. And you're like, oh, but I'm alive. I can't do that. So there are ways to help with your stress if you're in a moment where you're like, you can do box breathing, and this correlates with the breathing as well. Oxygen is life. But box breathing is really simple. If you just think of a box, 4 lines right there. So you're going to take a deep breath, moving up the box, and then you're going to hold that breath for 4 seconds. And then you're going to exhale for 4 seconds. And then you're going to hold that for 4 seconds. So that's one box breath. So if you do that, you will literally feel your stress go, oh, I feel so much better. And these are tools that you can just step away. Like, I just need a minute to breathe and bring that stress down. Because if you just have that stress in your body, that adrenaline going 24/7, it is going to destroy you. You're going to have heart issues. You're going to have stomach issues. Your body starts to break down. So if we can stop, be mindful, try to do what we need to do, then it can help with the stress.
All right. We ought to talk about evening routines. You've given us some exceptional ideas for morning routines and getting the day off on the right foot. How do we wind it down and end our day on a positive note?
So nighttime routines are my favorite, mainly because I have children. I'm like, let's do your nighttime routine. And they go throughout and they brush their teeth and they get ready for bed or they shower, they do what they have to do. But for an adult, I started thinking, do adults have nighttime routines? Like, of course, yeah, we brush our teeth, this and that. But there's so much that we can do to kind of unfold from the day, to put things down, put your phone down. There's a lot of studies by NASA that show the effects of blue light right before bed. It decreases your melatonin. And without melatonin, your body can't really get into a restful sleep, going into REM. And studies show if you limit screen exposure before bed, your body's able to produce 50% more melatonin. And you're going to feel so much better in the morning if that's the case. So yeah, you want to stay away from that. And journal. I think a lot of people don't journal enough. Sit down. Everything that's in your brain is going to keep going. But when you write it down, your brain goes, okay, I don't have to like remember that or keep that on the front. It's here now, and that's okay. So at the end of a stressful day, okay, this happened at work. This is how I can improve. My kids did this. Remember to do this. And after you get all of that gibberish out, all of a sudden you feel this like peace, like, okay, I can relax. So create a routine that works for you. What's relaxing? What's beneficial? Sit down, read a book. That'll make you tired. But if you're scrolling on your phone, you'll be up for hours because social media is meant to keep you. You have to like almost like, I'm done, throw it across the room because it holds you there. So if you can just put that down and say, okay, at this time, I no longer watch the TV. I no longer do these things. These are the things that I can do right before bed. And washing your face, just like the morning routine, get all that off. Your body will absorb everything that's on your skin. So if you just have makeup on your skin, you're like, oh, it'll look great in the morning. It won't. Wash it off, reset, let your skin breathe. Your skin has to breathe. And, you'll feel better getting that cold water on your face before bed. Just circulating everything, moving around, stretching before bed. Yoga is a great one. If you have difficulty sleeping, there's a lot of yoga moves that you could use just to relax your body. And you will feel so much better in the morning if you do these things. If you do all these things, you're going to feel like a brand new person, I promise. But just take it slow.
Gosh. I need
Well, I
another
think
20 hours in the day here to handle this stuff.
I promise they're easy, simple routines. And as you go through your day, tonight or tomorrow or next week, kind of think, all right, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do some deep breaths, or I'm going to walk outside and just see, actually, this isn't difficult. These are easy, sensible things that aren't expensive. Most of them are free that you can just do in your home, and they're going to help you live a longer, better, healthier life. So why not? Why not? Let's just try it. It's good. You're just giving your body what it needs.
Okay,
Hmm.
very good.
all right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about for good sleep hygiene, or did we cover that?
Well, there's a lot for sleep, actually. Sleep is so important, and you can't make up sleep. You have to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And if you are not getting at least 7 hours of sleep, your body is breaking down. Because in sleep, that's when your body's repairing muscles, it's repairing tissue, it's repairing your brain. So if you're not
Hmm.
doing that, your body's not healing.
Hmm.
When babies sleep, they'll sleep forever. It's because they're growing. A child's
Hmm.
growing. So when you're sleeping, it's essential. It's your reset. And I know as a teenager, you only need like no sleep. My kids, they'll just be like, I don't need to sleep, but it's vital. And maybe one night of sleep, you'll be like, oh, it's not that bad, but it will catch up to you. It takes you like a day or two to finally start to feel better. I used to work midnights. I worked midnights for a long time. And you'd work 2 midnights and then you'd be off 3 days. So then your sleep schedule would get
Hmm.
all messed up. And it was so hard to get back into that rhythm of, okay, now I have to sleep. Okay, now I'm awake and now I'm asleep. And that did a lot of damage, I know, on me. When I went back to day shift, it was the best thing I could ever do for myself. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, so things that can help with sleep is like a dark room. You want your room to be dark, you want it to be cool. I mentioned earlier about a snake plant. I love snake plants. Get one from every single room. It's just oxygenating that room. You're
Hmm.
helping the plant's helping you. It's easy to take care of. You only have to water it like
Snake plant.
every 2 weeks. Yeah, I'll water all my other plants. I'm like, I shouldn't water you. You don't need watered yet. But it's good for you. So while you're sleeping, you're breathing good oxygen. You've got your blanket and your grounding. So it's just better. You'll be in a better mood if you don't sleep. You're cranky. Nobody wants to be around you. It boosts your immune system. If you don't sleep, their studies show that it increases anxiety and depression. You could probably link that to a lot of things that if you feel depressed, look back, oh, I only get 5 hours of sleep every single night. Well, you're not helping your body, you're getting worse. You wake up feeling, oh, I am drained. I have nothing else to offer. So energize yourself. There's so many people relying on you. There's a job that needs you. Give them the best version of you that you can be.
Okay. We are about out of time, are we not?
Yeah, I think so. Do you
Time
have
flies
any
in this.
do you have any final takeaways you'd like listeners to keep
Yeah,
near and dear?
yeah, just keep it simple and don't be overwhelmed. You can come back to this podcast and listen and go, okay, what was another thing that I can pick up on? Just pick one little thing. If you're oil pulling, just do it for 5 minutes. It's not actually that beneficial at 5, but just start it just so you can feel it.
Hmm.
Try to get to 10 and just slowly do it. Incorporate it somehow into your day. Don't get overwhelmed. We're just trying to help you take care of yourself. Take care of yourself so you can take care of others and be there for everybody else involved in your life. You're doing great already. We're just giving you some extra things that you can add to your day that will help you in your future. Your future self will thank you.
Okay. Thank you to our guest, Hollie Stefaniak. This lady is a very interesting lady and a very interesting nurse. And you know what? There's going to be a rush on snake plants at the nurseries because she
I hope
suggested.
so.
Okay, so get ready, nurseries. If you suspect you have a medical issue, please contact your healthcare provider. Thanks to Aultman Health System and our listeners for joining us on Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy. Have a healthy week. And we'll see you again next Friday right here on News Talk 1480 WHBC. Thank you very much, Holly. It was wonderful. Just
It was a pleasure.
very,
Thank you.
Yes.
very,
Thank you very much.
Yes, I'll
very
come back whenever
interesting.
you want.